What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about what I consider to be the best and most versatile piece of lethal equipment in Warzone, and I feel it's very underrated as well. This is the Molotov. Now from what I've seen, most people tend to use like a Semtex or a C4, or in many cases for the higher levels of play for people to get tons and tons of kills. Throwing knives have also become very popular. But I almost never see people using Molotovs, and people have asked me, why do I use Molotovs? So in today's video, I wanted to take a quick look at the characteristics of the Molotov in Warzone and explain exactly why I like it so much. So first things first with the Molotov, it does have a damage radius of 2.7 meters. And on top of this, the damage within that radius lasts for about 7.5 to 8 seconds. So this is a great area of denial tool that you can use to shut off a doorway for about 8 seconds or so, which could give you time to armor up if you've taken some damage. Or if an enemy is behind a small piece of cover like a rock or a tree, if you throw that Molotov so the 2.7 meter radius covers their entire piece of cover, they will be forced to exit that piece of cover, usually in a panic as well, and they're normally a free kill. Whereas with a lot of the explosives in this game, if the enemy has full armor, even if they don't have EOD, a lot of times they can just sort of hunker down and eat that damage up and then just reapply armor plates without exposing themselves to you at all. They can't do the same thing with a Molotov because they will definitely die if they stay within that radius, even if they have EOD, but we'll look at that in just a second. The next thing I wanted to look at with the Molotov is the amount of damage that's dealt. So with this, during its 7.5 to 8 second duration, the Molotov will deal ticks of damage every 350 milliseconds. And if the enemy isn't using EOD, it will deal 30 damage per tick. So every 350 milliseconds, it's dealing 30 damage to the enemy player. And this means a fully armored player without EOD will die in 9 ticks or 3.15 seconds. So they have less than 3 seconds to get out of that area because some of that damage will actually carry with you. Even if you exit the radius, you'll still take an extra tick or 2 of damage. And that forces enemies to make very, very quick decisions if they want to survive. As for people that are using EOD, the Molotov will deal 20 damage per tick at the exact same rate, so somebody that has EOD and full armor plates, it will take 13 ticks or roughly 4.5 seconds for that enemy to die. So they have a little bit more time to make a decision and react, but if they don't leave that radius, they're still going to be dead. They can't just hunker down, suck up the damage until that Molotov expires. The Molotov has more than enough time to kill them if they don't get out of that radius. So that's one of the big reasons that the Molotov is far more versatile than the explosive pieces of equipment, because it's still a huge threat to people that are using EOD. They just get a little bit more time to react, but it's still going to kill them. Whereas a single Semtex grenade, unless you stick them, or a C4, that's barely even a threat to an EOD user. It'll deal some damage, but they'll end up being just fine. Now, one of the big reasons that you see a lot of people using Semtexes is if they stick an enemy player with that Semtex, that player is guaranteed to die. It doesn't matter how many armor plates they have or if they're using the EOD perk, they're going down. But what a lot of people don't realize is you do the exact same thing with a Molotov. Even if you stick an enemy that has full plates and EOD with a Molotov and they immediately sprint out of that radius, the flames will stick around in that same area where it hit. However, that enemy is doomed to die. No matter what, that enemy is going to be dying, even if they immediately get outside of the radius, because the damage just sticks with them until they're dead. So in that sense, the Molotov is just as good as the Semtex, if not better, because not only does that damage stick with the enemy player, you also still have that fire damage on the ground from where you hit the enemy player, so you could still be denying that area while the flames also follow that player that you hit. And that's just the basic stats when it comes to the Molotov. Now I want to talk about something else that I really like about the Molotov that a lot of people may not be aware of, and this is, it is great for countering people that are in vehicles. Now, of course, just a disclaimer here, if the enemy is using a trophy system on their vehicle and they're doing it properly, yes, that will counter a Molotov just like it will counter any of the other pieces of equipment. So it's not like it's special in that regard. You still have to deal with a trophy system. But the thing I really like about this is, especially in solo modes where those cargo trucks are all over the place, if you can deal with the enemy's trophy system, assuming they have one on their cargo truck, now all you have to do is stick a single Molotov somewhere near the cab of the truck, and that player, no matter what, will be forced to get out of their truck quickly. Even if they have EOD and full plates, they have to get out of that truck if they want to survive. And then when they do that, they're usually in a panic state. They often don't have time to drive to a piece of cover or anything, so they just bail out of the truck immediately out in the open while taking damage to flames, and they're just a super easy kill once that happens. So the Molotov is an incredible tool for dealing with people in cargo trucks, because with any of the explosive pieces of equipment, it's going to take you at least 2 explosives to destroy a cargo truck because they have so much extra health compared to the other vehicles. And therefore, if you deal with the enemy's trophy system and you use a C4 against the cargo truck, sure, you're going to deal a bunch of damage to it, but that player has time to get out of that situation and regroup and potentially just completely disengage with you if they want. Whereas with a Molotov, you force an immediate decision, and if they stay in that truck, they're going to die. Now, it is worth noting that you can't just stick the Molotov anywhere on the truck. If you stick it right to the front grille, for instance, that's not going to be close enough to the cab to actually be dealing damage to the player that's inside. So you want to try and make sure you get it like on top of the hood of the truck, or on the windshield, or on the side door, or even the back window. Basically just within 2.7 meters of where the driver is. And if you do that, you will force them to exit the truck or stick with it and die. Now, when it comes to the other vehicles, if we eliminate trophy systems from the equation, since it works equally across all of these throwable equipment, then yeah, you're probably better off with a C4 because a C4 is guaranteed to blow up any one of the other vehicles as long as it's within the radius, and that's an instant kill. You're not forcing them to make a decision, you're just straight up killing them instantly. Having said that, the Molotov still works great against other vehicles. It's going to have the same effect as with the cargo truck, where you're going to force that enemy to exit the vehicle or stay in and die. So in that sense, I just consider the Molotov to be far more versatile than the explosive equipment when dealing with a variety of vehicle types. So all of these characteristics combined with the Molotov make it, in my opinion, the best and most versatile piece of equipment that you can currently use in Warzone. Like I said at the beginning though, a lot of the really high-level players, like high-level streamers and people that are going for kill records and stuff, you'll see them using throwing knives, and for them, it still makes sense to use throwing knives. And the main reason for this is it's a great way to instantly kill people that you've downed. You just hit them with a throwing knife, they die immediately, and whenever you get time, you just have to sweep back through and you pick your throwing knife back up from their dead body. So you could do that potentially to a whole quad of players. If you kill them one by one and run over their bodies after you down them, you can just be immediately wiping people after you kill them, rather than wasting ammo trying to finish them off, or risking letting them stay alive while they're still pinging you for their teammates and giving callouts and stuff for the teammates. So yeah, there's still a great argument for using the throwing knife if you're using it in that way, but outside of that, I would say the Molotov is most likely going to be your best bet. Of course, that is just my opinion. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Now that you've seen exactly how the Molotov works and interacts with vehicles and stuff in Warzone, what do you think about the Molotov? Do you agree with me? Do you think it is one of the most versatile pieces of lethal equipment you can use? Or would you still prefer using something like a Semtex or a C4? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.